Hey, what's up, guys? TheDeadReviewer here with my second movie review. This one is kind of a don't judge a DVD by its cover. It's a movie that I just recently picked up. It is Hypothermia, right there. It's a sort of a throwback sort of movie to Creature from the Black Lagoon, older type of monster movies like that. It is James Felix McKinney. He directed it. He brought us automatons, whatever you want to call it. I haven't checked it out, but I heard pretty good shit about it, so I'm gonna check it out. I'm not gonna really hold this movie against him. But it's Hypothermia. Stars Michael Rooker, Blanche Baker, and Greg Finley. Larry Fessenden produced it. I love Larry Fessenden. He's sort of like the by the fan for the fans sort of guy. He loves horror movies. He brought us I Saw the Dead. He was one of the geniuses behind that. He's also co-stars in it. Co-stars. One of the geniuses behind Stakeland is one of my favorite vampire movies, post-apocalyptic. Last Winter with Ron Perlman. Dark Sky Films put it out. Glass Eye Pix put it out. Scare Flicks also is behind it. And it's an okay movie. I wouldn't say that it's great by any means. It's about this family who goes ice fishing on a vacation, and while they have a cabin off to the side. While they're there, they meet another family, guy and his son, played by Greg Finley from Secret Life of an American Teenager. I've never seen it, but whatever. And while they're there, they notice something under the ice, a big fish creature. Now, the creature has no CGI. It's just a guy in a suit, which I thought was pretty cool. I think that's the only thing about this movie that sort of says like old style Creature from the Black Lagoon type of things, is that they use no CGI in this movie, which I'm not going to say that it saves the movie, but also like bigger reviewers, and this is why I kind of started this, sort of a fan telling the fans about shit, instead of like going to like a big high up movie reviewer that will look down, because in the day and age today, it's like CGI is praised, and I think that's bullshit. I think it's so much better if it's practical. And a lot of reviewers said, oh, it looks cheap, it's just a guy in a suit, and that's true to an extent, but that's also what the movie has going for it. Like, that's the whole point of the movie, is that it's not supposed to be CGI. It's supposed to be like an older sort of horror movie, monster movie. That's why I kind of started this in the first place. But in this movie's case, it doesn't really save the movie. The acting's terrible. I'm not going to stick up for Michael Rooker whatsoever. I don't know. It's sort of like one of those movies where, because Michael Rooker is a good actor, Greg Finley's a good actor, I'm not pretty sure about Blanche Baker. She was in The Girl Next Door, and I saw it a while ago. I don't really remember her from it, but like, it's like one of those movies where you don't know if the bad acting is a result of the bad acting, or if it's a result of the terrible script that it has behind it. It's got a pretty good storyline, but the script and the dialogue it's so painful. Like, the movie's about Michael Rooker's family and his wife and his son and his son's girlfriend, and you don't really care about him because there's really no character development really at all. And I honestly found myself connecting with and liking the other people the father and the son more than I did who was supposed to be the main characters. The father's funny. He makes all the wrong decisions for his kid. And they essentially end up being the people who last the least amount of time, unfortunately. But there's a part where the father looks to the son because they pull up on the ice with their truck and their big Winnebago, whatever it is, and the son waves to the other family, and the father goes, "Come on, son, quit trying to get laid." Like, what the fuck is that? Nobody says that shit. Who the fuck is he trying to get laid by? The father? The son? The mother that's clearly almost 60 years old? Or the son's girlfriend whose face is pretty much hidden by a fucking Eskimo hood? Like, who? That doesn't happen. Like, it's just a silly script that could have done so much more because it's such a cool concept. And I honestly thought that the monster looked pretty badass. You know, it's not really all that suspenseful. There's like one scene where the creature fucking zips underneath the ice and everybody's like, "Holy shit, what the fuck was that?" You know, and he pulls, you know, he gets caught up on the lines and he pulls the lines and everything. But other than that, nothing really. I kind of really did expect a lot more from Larry Fessenden because, again, I love Larry Fessenden and pretty much anything that he's been involved in. But the cons of the movie is there's no character development pretty much whatsoever. You don't care about people. Bad acting, terrible dialogue. It's like a script on like a Tonight Show with like David Letterman or like Jay Leno or something, or like Conan O'Brien, you know, where they're standing there and the camera's pointing at them and they have the screen in front of them and they're like reading from it. It's kind of like that. It's like the son's gonna go to Africa after he gets out of school with his girlfriend and like spend like a year or two up there, like helping everybody out and shit like that. You know, it'll be like a good experience for him. He says, you know, you don't really give a shit about it because of how bad it's brought up and how terribly executed the dialogue and the script is in it. But he's like, "Oh, I think that we're gonna go to Africa after school." And then the mother's like, "Oh," says something, and then he's like, "I think that Dad will be okay with this." And then the mom says, "I don't. I think he will be rather upset because you're not going to spend the summer with us." And it's just terrible, you know. I mean, but for the concept and everything, it is pretty cool. Another con is that they could have done so much more with this, and they could have really made it a good modern day monster movie. The other con is that it's really not suspenseful at all. There's blood, there's good props in it, but that's about it. The pros are that it is a really cool non-CGI creature, and that's what I love to see. I hate CGI, especially in movies like this. It's got a really cool cover, again, and it's reversible. Right there. There's a little picture of the monster right there, his face. Another one is that it's a cool concept, but again, that pro is kind of overshadowed by the con that they could have done so much more about it. The overall rating, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10, solid 5. 4 for the movie, and another 1 extra point for the cover because the cover is just badass, and the script seems so rushed. The movie seems so rushed. No character development at all. It seems like they really honestly did take so much more time in putting the cover together than the movie. So 5 out of 10. Check it out if you want to. Let me know what you think of it if you've seen it. More reviews coming soon. Hypothermia, 5 out of 10. Would not recommend it. Probably avoid it, but not like the plague. See you soon.